Yo! All right, so people have been, not trying to get us to do a podcast, but they'd say like they would listen to us if we recorded one. So here we are. Start off by just saying how proud I am of you.
Aww.
It's been so cool to just like see you grow and see you inspire so many people. From opening the gym and just with prep altogether. So it's been really fun to watch.
Thanks.
How's prep going?
So far, so good. I think that I had a hard time in the beginning because I really wanted to do it. Like I wanted to do it last year, but we chose not to do it last year because of work. And like, we were like, there's no way that we can, do this. And then it came up again this time and it just felt right to do it. It also felt like something I needed to do for me personally. Like I have a business now, we had the online business, but like have a whole thing now.
This is real.
This is a whole thing now. So like, I really know that I think that the bodybuilding prep was like I used it this time as more of an opportunity to challenge myself and to keep me on track at the same time. Everybody wants to wait until they have nothing going on to hit their goal or put their plan together. And it's so much easier if you just figure out how to plug it into your already busy life, because you have all these other commitments. Make it another one of those. Make it another non-negotiable.
Yeah, I think so. We opened the gym in January, and like we were planning on competing in April, and the timing just didn't work out.
April of this year, right?
April of this year. Yeah. Instead, we're competing in September. But I think we got to a point where we realized like we weren't living the life that like we were preaching.
We just got busy with work like everyone else does. And we were like, oh no, like watching ourselves, like catching ourselves becoming that or
excuses and I can't find the time to work out, which it's crazy because like when you're in it and you're struggling through it, you believe the excuses where like I told myself I couldn't work out more than 3 times a week. I couldn't, get my steps in. I couldn't eat the right foods. I didn't have time, but here we are, like even busier than we were in January, but
and
we're
doing it even
happen.
More so, like making it even more so of a serious thing. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like more than we would have needed to do.
Killing it.
But that's because we're in a busy season and we made it another non-negotiable. And like I think I needed that solid piece of like programming on the app and having my stuff to check off and knowing I have to log my food to keep me mentally like on it. Because when work becomes so much, the routine is what you want to fall back on. And that's what I would me falling back on was my bodybuilding prep. And until I would say the last, 2 or 3 or 4 weeks where it's very much in my face that I am in a bodybuilding right now. And I'm like, oh my God.
I think having the community here though has been like is not making all the difference, but it's helping out a ton.
Making it a lot easier.
They're giving us a ton of support and like they make it easier to show up. 'Cause like you always say, like if you can't do it for yourself, do it for the person next to you. And we have,
do it for
me. We have all of these members that show up every day, and it's super inspiring.
How's your prep going?
It's going. This week has been tough. Super hungry.
I think this is your toughest week, and it just started.
But that's the thing. Something I'm trying to catch myself. It's not a tough week. Like it's a day or it's an hour out of
moment.
It's a moment. You can't lump everything together. It just makes it that much harder.
What is that thing that I think it's floating around on Instagram every once in a while where like if you spill your coffee on your shirt or something first thing in the morning, there's 2 types of people on how you would handle that situation. And somebody would let it completely ruin their day, go off and be mean to someone else or get in a car. Like so many things could happen. Or then there's the other person who's changes their clothes and laughs about it later on.
Yeah. You can always choose how you like react after or like how you show up after something happens.
So many decisions in a day.
Yeah. What
else though?
I mean, this has been by far like my best prep, like easy compared to, I guess my first one, I had no clue what to expect. Like
you rolled into it, 8 weeks out. Who does 8 weeks?
And like just didn't know anything about bodybuilding to begin with. But this one it's been fun, like 20 weeks and just
your longest
prep. Most amount of weight lost, a little over 30 pounds in the 17 weeks so far. And I mean, it's been fun. I'm enjoying it. Ready for it to be over, but
I know. I feel like part of the reason why it's easier for you is because like I'm on it so much, because I know that's part of what made it harder for you the first couple of times. Was because I wasn't on a prep at all. In fact, I was trying to accomplish the opposite, and I was trying to gain weight and eating everything in sight. Me and our roommate, James. So I know that like maybe me being more willing to not have things in the house because I'm on the same type of thing, and like having the gym and being busy, not working from home, makes it easier too.
Yeah.
And your discipline muscles flex to the max. You're like,
it's been fun, like just figuring it out together. Like I know, someone mentioned like how do we like get along like when we're so hungry all the time, and I think we've just kind of figured out a way to manage.
We know. We just pick up on it.
All right, you're a little hangry right now. I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, I haven't eaten yet.
What's been the hardest part?
Honestly, the workouts. Me getting my workouts in. I mentally, not even like getting the workouts in, me mentally being okay with my training being different, this training plan being different than the first plan. I was like, one of the reasons I was so excited about going into this prep was because I loved my plan. I loved my workouts. I never had a bad workout. I would kill it 40 minutes on the stairs. Let me go. Like I thoroughly enjoyed the workouts. And this time it looked completely different. Felt completely different. Was in my gym, but that was different. Like it almost like having a home gym in a way. And so that was the hardest part. And once I realized and accepted the fact that my training had to be different, even though I'm doing the same stuff, it's just, I don't know, it just felt so much different.
Yeah.
I also think that adding in the Thursday visits to Crunch where I can play on machines mentally has helped me out a little bit too.
Yeah.
So I would say that that's the hardest part though. The food really hasn't been as hard for me as it was last time. I know I talk about it a lot, but that makes me feel better. That's how I feel better. I watch candy salad videos.
Can't do that.
I know, you don't even look at what I send you.
I think for me, it's been balancing prep and the business. Like,
right.
And I don't know if I'm like using that as an excuse as far as like not like pushing harder with prep. But like mine just kind of like
your priorities,
not priorities, but like, I mean, yeah, priorities, I guess. Because as you dive deeper into prep, everything goes like mine's out of there. So it's just how far can I go out before it starts, hurting the business, or where I start not to show up as good as I know I can. I mean, it's definitely affected a little bit, but I was expecting that. And,
but you know what though? I think a huge piece that's helped you is supplements.
Yeah.
You didn't supplement any of your other preps. Like you're also, so many people come up to you and ask you like,
I was like, nothing.
And I'm like, this guy just started taking creatine. Like the one person that doesn't, and now you take the supplements. And I think that's a huge reason why you've made it this far.
Yeah.
Is not really, losing it as much. I don't know what we would call it, prep brain.
Yeah.
But
let's talk about maintenance for a second. So we can talk about like what our maintenance is going to look like after prep, but like maintenance in general. So I think a lot of people, when they are starting a fitness journey, they want to figure out how to sustain their goal after hitting it.
So that's what you mean by maintenance.
I think people have a different idea of like what maintenance means.
But when you're talking about
when
maintenance,
I'm talking about maintenance, I think maintenance is, I don't really believe in maintenance. You're either,
because you believe in always pursuing a goal.
You're either moving forward or you're moving backwards. And I think when people talk about maintenance, they more so mean like, I want to keep all the results without
keep making results
without, you know, putting the thought, putting the effort into it. So I think, but like, you should always be, you know, striving for something. You should always be trying to move forward, whatever that looks like. You know, there's the different areas in life, like your health and your fitness is one, your relationships, stuff like that. But like, once we come out of this busy season of like our fitness, it's all right, we can focus, you know, more on our relationship again. We're going on those date nights once a month. So I think it's just refocusing your priorities. I think people just want to stop doing stuff altogether. And that's where they mess up. That's why you're going backwards, because you're on and off instead of, you're not aware,
just turning the dial, right? It's a dial. And it's how high or how low. It's not on off.
And that's that like baseline that we talked about. It's like, what's your minimum amount that we need to do every day to keep moving the needle forward? Because we should always be trying to move that needle forward.
Right. You didn't put all this work in to lose all this weight just to not keep losing the weight if that's your goal. Right. I think that another thing that part of that is like, maybe related to like seasons, like that's another way of describing it. Like you don't need to be in a season of weight loss all the time.
Exactly.
But that doesn't mean you stop paying attention to your food. You stop paying attention to your workouts. You stop getting activity in. Those things are just different now. It's a different part of your plan, but it's all like, no matter what, even if your goal is to continue to lose body fat, you're still going to have to go through a phase where you're not losing body fat because, you know, especially if you have a large goal. So it's people realizing that there's seasons, but there's never a point where you're not.
Where you just turn off.
Yeah.
It just
except for vacations.
Vacations. That's what vacations are for. So
that's where our philosophy comes in, right? So that makes sense. If everything is on a dial, there's no on and off switch, right? It's figuring out what's the minimum you're going to do on a daily basis when it comes to steps, nutrition, and workouts. That it's going to help you continue to move the needle, whether it's slower or whatever. Like move the needle, and then I forgot where I was going with that.
Prep. I think that, I mean, that's the thing too, though. It's like some people they take vacations like 2 or 3 times a month. It's like, all right, well, your vacation, you can't, you know.
Yeah. Or like work trips can't be vacations.
Exactly.
Right. Or like, and then we also talk. That's where we also, you know, with our clients, we'll talk about like, again, having that like line with yourself where you're like, okay, where, like, what can you, what, like, what's on your plan and what's not on your plan? Like, what is okay and what is not okay, right? Like when you go on these like work trips, like, are you going to have 2 drinks like over the course of the weekend, or are you going to have like setting boundaries with yourself? And then with that way, like when you set boundaries with yourself, most of the time, vacations,
I think that's what people mean by like, they want to go to maintenance. They want to like not have those restrictions anymore. Well, like not having those restrictions is what got you to where you didn't want to be anymore. Like that's, you know, why you wanted to change.
The ultimate goal is to not have to have the restrictions because you're disciplined enough and have daily habits that aren't this major thing in your life that actually fit into your life that contribute to your goal, so that it's not this thing that you need a break from. Right? That's the other part of it.
Yeah.
Fitting it into your lifestyle so that you're always working towards that goal, but it's not always a punch in your face. I am trying to lose weight. I am trying to lose weight all the time. But you are still actively trying to lose weight.
Yeah, but I think that's why like bodybuilding is cool, is because like we're like 20 weeks of like just straight balls.
We said
to the
we wanted
wall.
to lose weight. Here's what happened.
And then after we go into like you know, season of growing where we're purposely putting on weight. And, you know, a lot of people come in that I don't want to yo-yo anymore. It's like life is a yo-yo.
You're going to yo-yo, so you might as well yo-yo on purpose.
Yeah. I think for my first show, I put just so much pressure on myself to come in first place, like get my pro card my very first show, when I had no idea what to even expect.
I never even been to one.
Never been to a bodybuilding show, never like watched any like of the bodybuilders, could probably name like Arnold. And
I think that's like the only one.
C-bomb. There's two. So like, I remember like we had this moment where like we were on the dock and like I just kind of broke down and like I like released that, you know, needing to win. And it was awesome. Like just being able to do that and like having you there for that. But like I think now I'm at that point where it's obviously, yeah, I want to come in first place, want to become a pro, but it's more so the discipline aspect of like making it there. You know, I committed to doing this. I'm going to see this thing through.
No matter what happens.
No matter what happens, I'm going to show up on stage the best that I can be, feeling as best as I can. Cause I know I stuck to the plan. I put the work in. I did what I said I was going to do. And that's where that self-confidence comes in. That's where, you know, you build that integrity with yourself. It just comes from the doing. Mm-hmm.
I know. And I think that a lot of people talk to us about confidence, and that's one of people's goals. And that is the beauty of like a fitness journey and a health journey, is that the inevitable end result is confidence if you follow through with it, because you're just building trust in yourself. And that's what confidence is. And people feel that and they see that when you talk to somebody, especially when somebody is in relatively good shape, because they know that you take yourself seriously, that you take your life seriously, you take your health seriously, your family, your friends, we all like, health is the number one thing on everybody's mind. So why is that not, you know what I mean? Like it just feels so obvious.
Yeah.
So for me, your prep is a really good show to members of what can happen when you commit to something. You say you're going to do it and you don't let anything get in the way, and prove to them that, hey, you have been doing the same exact thing as me. I've been taking your classes 3 times a week. I might do a 4th workout, maybe not, but I'm literally taking the same classes. I have a macro goal. I'm logging my food. I'm getting steps. That is my cardio. You literally do steps and then the stairs a few times a week now. Like proving to them, like, you've had the same 20 weeks as me. How come I lost 30 plus pounds? I mean, some of our people have lost 30 plus pounds, which is cool. But
yeah, no, and I mean, that's the funny thing.
We have the same time.
Yeah, when people ask like, oh, how'd you do it? It's like the same stuff I'm asking you to do, you know? It's being intentional with your food, like knowing what you're eating. It's, 3 workouts a week.
Well, and there's comfort for them. There's comfort in knowing that, like, they, at least in my opinion, or at least I find this comforting too, is that like, I can turn to you and I can turn to your Instagram, or I can turn to your app, like your account on your app, and it's there. And like, that's motivation for me. Cause like, oh, he's still on. Like, oh, this happened and he's still good. And like, they probably like feel the same way. Like, oh, he's 2 weeks out and he's still doing it. He's still up, early in the morning. And I feel like they use that for motivation when they need it.
Yeah. How do you feel about getting on stage? Like, where's your head at? Like, is it like, I need to come in first, or I need to just be better than I was, last time?
I it was really important to me that I brought a different package to the show this time. I felt like last time I've been working out since I was 15. So I know that I, at this point, even up to a couple years ago, looked like I worked out kind of, but I was also small. And so I felt like that I looked like that because I was little. Yeah. And so like when I did the bodybuilding show, I was like, okay, this is me like actually like focusing on the muscle part and not just me, being small and like working out all the time. It was actually assigning a goal. I had never actually, like, my goal was to have abs. Like, I didn't have like an actual goal, like weight-wise or anything. So the bodybuilding show gave me that. And then I went right into the building right after. And that was the best I have ever looked and the best I have ever felt and the heaviest I have ever been. And I am doing this so that I can get back to that, because I think that yes, I want to win because I'm an Aries. So I really
Aries.
And I'm alpha female. So I very much so like being good at stuff. So I'm not going up there to not win. Like, if I'm going to put all this work into it and, do this stuff, like I'm going to try to win. I don't like doing things like half-assed.
Yeah.
So I think like that's a huge part of it and a huge motivator is because I'm not going to go up there and not look. I also have watched like what I was 2 years ago and I'm like horrified that I even went on stage. So like this is redemption.
Yeah.
For me as well.
Yeah.
But I think I've really enjoyed, like you said, like I guess motivating some of the members.
Yeah.
But I've just always worried about it being the wrong kind of motivation. So that's always in the back of my mind with women, especially. I'm just trying to tread lightly around that.
Especially because we're not training bodybuilders.
It's not healthy.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. And that's why I haven't been as open about what my macros are and what my programming is. Because
what I eat.
Yeah, what I eat.
First meal at 3:00.
Yeah, I don't want someone else to go through this. Unless that's their goal.
Yeah.
So that's another, and like they would be like, oh, she's doing that, I'm gonna do this. And like some things apply, but so that's just me also navigating that. I think that I would like to have been on social more with it, but I just didn't know how to navigate that. I just wanted to be careful.
Yeah, it's tough. Social media is just tough in general.
Yeah, man, it's a lot.
You mentioned you're an alpha female. Yes. But so we're almost 2 years into being like fully self-employed.
That's cool.
Yeah. Right. Almost a year into having this gym. How does that feel for you? Cause I know like when we first opened this place, not that you had these expectations, but like you didn't want me to have these expectations for you as far as like being compared to Layla but like you're stepping into this role of just this complete boss that, everyone, all these women look up to. How does that feel?
Well, I've never thought about that. I never thought about that. That's sweet. It's weird because part of me has always, like, part of me could never picture myself, like, as an adult working for somebody. Like, I just couldn't, because my dad is self-employed. And, like, for the longest time, my mom has been an artist. So, like, I never, like, saw that, like, employed, like, as an adult. Like, all of the adults around me were self-employed and, like, were in control of their days. And, like, I wanted that. But also I wanted to be a doctor and I wanted like a 9-to-5. And like, once I felt a little bit lost after I gave up the 9-to-5 thing because I was like, well, now what do I do? Because I don't want to just piggyback off of what you're doing and become a personal trainer. But it felt so right. Like once I started doing that, I was like, all right, well, like this is it. Yeah. But I also could tell you I did not enjoy just being a minion, an hourly minion forever. So like, that's why I don't know. I sometimes I'm like, I don't even know how it ended up here. But also I do because of my personality. So like when I'm in a role, like as an employee, I would always, like as a server and bartender, I always lean towards those roles because I was in charge of how much money I made. And I was the one who had an impact on like how it went, how the exchange went. I was in complete control, like an independent contractor type. Like and so it makes sense that I got here. Because I also am not very good at listening to people and just like taking what they say if I disagree. Like I'm going to tell you that I disagree with you. That doesn't go over that well.
Yeah.
So I think I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
And I think that when I close my eyes and I picture when I used to close my eyes and picture like myself like in the future, it has always been me and you with a gym of some kind. It didn't look like this, but right? And then it's me and you now. It's me and you on stage winning together. So I think, like, I don't know. I think I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be, and it just kind of all fall into place. And big thanks to you and your support.
What about you? I mean, it is crazy because, like, this is literally what we've like dreamed of doing.
And I told my dad, I was like, what do I do? Like I like reached my goal. Like I wanted to open a gym. I wanted to graduate college. I wanted to get married to you specifically. And I wanted to open a gym. And so now it's like,
we weren't dreaming big enough.
I know. And now it's also like, focused on the impact.
Mm-hmm. And that's, like like you can have everything you want. Like it's not that it's not enough, but like there's always going to be more. And like you always want to, help more and serve more. So it's just, how can we make more of an impact the best way possible? And
that's why this is so much cooler than the online, because our capacity with online was 30, 40, 50.
Mm-hmm.
This
just
is
us, yeah.
So much more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just us. But
yeah.
I mean, even now, one employee right now.
Two.
It's 2 employees now, yeah. And it's like more, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just different.
Yeah.
And it's cool because it's directly impacting the community that we live in. Which I think we were really big on.
It's crazy because like this is literally like what we wanted to happen, and we made it happen.
Okay, what about you though?
What about me?
What is like you said, like you I mean your journal, like the where you were like when we were deciding on picking this place and like all of the things, all of the moments leading up to that, like where's your head at now when you think about like what you did? And like when you think about taking that chance when we were walking past this place and we were about to get a different place and we were like, let's just see if we can pull this off. Like what like when you think back to that?
I don't know. I think it's, taking those chances and, cause failed, multiple times before we got here. And, that's obviously like a scary thing to, want to try again and, be worried about, failing again. But just, being okay with taking that chance because, you never know when you're actually going to hit it. But I think like right now it's like you said, like how can I make more of an impact? Like what does that look like? And, like growing up, like I always wanted a gym, but like we're here, like what's next? Like this, I don't know. It's super cool, that it's happened. And, I don't know.
Yeah, it'll be cool.
So, I guess what is next for you guys? Like, what would be another goal for you guys once your competition is over? What is the next goal for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, as far as I've always wanted to do an Ironman. I think that's going to be my next like big fitness goal. Ironman or half Ironman, whatever that looks like. But after this, putting weight back on,
going back to
healthy,
optimal
health, like where I feel good. But as far as like the gym, like I want to, fill this place up to capacity. And then from there, I mean, I don't know. The sky's the limit. Like you've always talked about, getting a bigger gym where it is more of like a health club, which I'd love to do, like have a, recovery section and, just more of an open gym. Yeah. Where we do still offer group classes and the nutrition is a bigger piece and, just a well-rounded program. Cause I think so many people right now are focused on the self-care and the healing, but it's not necessarily like the right way. Or like they're not looking at it the right way of like taking care of themselves. Like, yeah, it's, the bubble baths and whatever, but it's so much more than that. It's people need to go like deeper with themselves, how to reflect and all that fun stuff.
Higher performance coaching.
Yeah. Just a higher level.
I anticipate staying in the physical realm because I love anatomy and physiology and the human body so much. It would just be, I think, a sign like growing with that and with my like our like membership base and like where that grows. I think that we've had a lot of people ask for specialty types of classes and specialty programs, and it's like going into that or I don't know.
I see you teaching. I think you're gonna teach in some like capacity.
I would see that. I think that I would have to go back to school first.
Which you wouldn't mind?
No, I wouldn't mind at all. I guess that would be the logical next step for me, would be to go back to school.
Yeah. What are you most excited about for after prep?
Not having to say no to myself.
In what way? Like with food?
Yes, because I spent a very long time not being okay with that. Like trying to be okay with that. And not making myself say no. And like not in an unhealthy way, but like managing that. And I'm really looking forward to managing that in a healthy way. And recognizing where my, be okay with like having stomachache because I ate too much ice cream. But I really, like I said, I really want to go into a building phase because I felt my best, I looked the best, and I want to take that farther than where I got to take it this last time. So that really would be my priority. My goal would be to get up to the 3,000 cal range.
Yeah?
I was at like 28.
Yeah.
Probably more. So, yeah. What about you?
What was the question?
What are you most excited about for after prep?
I think just feeling satiated. Just because, even
you have to stop.
Even when you eat, like it's not enough. Just so hungry all of the time. So just like feeling full and like I've had enough food is what I'm looking forward to.
I guess that's what I mean by stomachache when I eat ice cream.
It doesn't even need to be like for me.
Real food.
Yeah, just a lot of real food is what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
Not just a huge salad.
The salads are good.
Salads are great.
I
no complaints of like what I've been eating. It's just not enough.
Yeah.
And energy, getting my energy back.
Energy.
And it's so funny too because
energy for workouts.
People come in like in the morning, especially like I need your energy. I'm like, this is fake. But that's what people don't get. Like you literally just make it up. You have to generate the energy.
And an object in motion stays in motion. AKA get your freaking steps in, okay? Like you get your steps in, tomorrow is gonna be easier. The next day it's gonna be easier. Don't take 3 days off and then have to get up and get your steps. It sucks to have to do that.
I think, I mean, that's like how prep started too though. Like we didn't start with like what we're doing right now. We started, with, less movement, less of a dialed in diet. Now it's, just super strict and like you have to ease your way into it. I think that's why most people fail like with, their fitness journey like altogether. It's like they want to go from what they're doing right now from like not working out at all, not making any of their own meals, not moving at all to, all right, I'm going to work out 6 times a week. I'm going to meal prep. I'm going to, go on a 10-mile run. Like, you're not going to do that. Why?
Yeah, it's like, why are we going to talk about this and pretend like you are? That's not fun for me.
Yeah. I don't want to set you up for failure like that. Like you're setting yourself up. Like, let's not do that. Let's be realistic. Let's set some real goals. Like what can we actually do? But like when we do that, people are like, oh, that's not hard enough.
Right.
And that's why like, oh, I want to do 75 hard. It's like, all right, like.
All right. You want to work out twice a day. Okay.
Why?
I don't even want to do that. No.
That's what someone asked the other day. Like, I don't even know if I like working out, honestly. It's just something I do. I've been doing
time in my whole life. That thought has crossed my mind. That I might not actually enjoy working out as much as I thought I did. And I am horrified at that thought because that is not okay. Working out is my personality. Like it cannot not be my personality right now. Like I'm telling you that has to be prep because I don't know what I'm going to do after that.
Yeah. No, I think like after prep, just taking I don't even know I'm going to take a week off. But
we're not.
I know. I want to like start running a little more, start eating more. Probably going to gain like 10 to 20 pounds. So
in a week or two.
If you see me, if you see another video like 4 weeks out, prep's over. And I'm okay with that. When we're thinking about our clients' results, like since I guess we'll just do the gym, or I guess since we've been coaching online.
Okay.
Who is the first person that stands out?
Marie.
Marie, yeah. Why?
Because she's a boss.
She is a boss.
Marie, because I remember coaching her in group fitness where we were at, and I remember, and not even coaching her, I wasn't even really coaching her that much. I was front desk, but I was the one going through her in-bodies with her. And going through her in-bodies, she's being really bummed, like not really losing weight. And then finally one day, like we decided to talk to her about nutrition, or she asked me about nutrition. And I like got on the phone with her and we talked, and then she decided to like work with us. Like, we didn't have anything though. We just did Excel spreadsheet. She logged her food on MyFitnessPal, and we wrote her stuff in like a notes thing, and we like all collaborated on her notes thing. And she has two littles, Sonia and Josiah. They are like 11 and 12, or like teenagers now.
Around
preteens. And anyways, like they were little, but they were like heavier too, and she wanted to help them lose weight too, and she knew that would start with her. So she knew she wasn't losing the weight from the group fitness and going 5 times a week. So we got her to go work out a little bit less, got her to focus on the strength training, like less focus on the impact, less focus on the cardio, and got her steps up. That was like the number one thing for her, was getting her up to like 12K steps. She got a walking pad. And that really helped her. And I think that once she started walking and consistently got the steps in and like watched her weight drop, I think that really like bought her into the whole steps idea, because it took a second to get her to do the steps.
I remember that.
Once she got into it, now she's the person I'm like, just ask Marie, because she's never not, since like we've been coaching her for almost 3 years, right?
Almost 2 years, a little over 2 years.
Little over 2 years.
Yeah.
And she's always getting 11, 12K steps now. That's just part of her day. And
doesn't
that's
have
part
knee
of the
pain
reason,
anymore.
Right. That's part of the reason why she's kept her weight off too. She's lost over 35 pounds with us, over 10% body fat. And she's continuing to see changes now that she was online. Now she's in person and coming to us, because like, even though the scale hasn't really moved for her in the last 6 months, she looks completely different too, because her physique is continuing to change. So like, no, like less knee pain, doesn't have to work out as much, just, you know, stays active. Both of her kids have healthy BMIs, play sports now, because she's decided to change that for her family. So like, I always like highlighting her, because she's an like prime example of how what you do impacts your kids, and how our kids are a result of, you know, what our daily habits are, and they see everything. So I always like shouting her out.
Yeah.
Plus, she's a great example of somebody who has some other things working against her when it comes to like her hormones and her health to keep her from losing the weight. And she's still, you know, her focus is the habits. It's not on the scale.
Yeah. I think another one is Jason. He's another Jason Neal, another online client. He's cool because we started working with him, I want to say like June or July, like
right after Marie.
2 years ago. And his goal is to be under 200 pounds. He started at 248, and we got him down. I think he hit like 202.
Yeah.
And then the holidays came around, and we went right back up.
To like over 220.
Yeah, to like over 220. So we gained the weight back. And that was something I think he just kind of accepted. It was like
he knew it was going to happen.
Yeah. But he, like January 1st, he dialed back in, and like literally he's 185 now.
Yeah.
Or around there. And it just shows you like it is going to ebb and flow. Like you have to, you know, just being willing to get back on the horse when you fall off.
Yeah, and just he's a good example of like dialing in. Yeah,
he's one that
because he goes on vacations too.
Traveled a lot for work, just to know that like you can make all the excuses you want, but like if you really want it, you're gonna make it happen.
Yeah.
What about in studio? Who's Naisha? Naisha's a beast.
Insane. Naisha's lost over 40 pounds since starting with us in January.
Yeah.
And I remember, she lives in the neighborhood. I remember her face, like, and her, like,
her
just
fuzzy coat when she came in.
Yeah, and just like being so warm. She was very sweet. And I just remember like really clicking with her like the first time we ever, because you already knew her, didn't you?
She reached out to us a couple months before we opened, wanting in-person training, but we weren't offering it at the time. And she was going to do online, but wasn't. So we just talked like briefly.
Okay. And I don't know. It just felt good. Mm-hmm. And I mean, she immediately went to work and she has not stopped. Like she gets her steps in, she logs her food. And what's really cool is she did the 6-week challenge, lost like 20 pounds on the 6-week challenge. And then like, we've just been slowly increasing her calories and like a reverse diet out of the 6-week challenge. And like, as she eats more food, she keeps dropping weight. And she has like these periods of a few weeks where she'll hang out at the same weight. And it's because her body's, just building a little bit of muscle first, and then it's dropping the fat. It's just really cool to see that when you just follow the plan. And she has a bunch of kids. Like she is a busy mom, busy woman, owns her own business. Like, I mean, and she's doing it.
Yeah.
Still doing it. Has brought her mom in, Miss Carla, who is amazing. Miss Carla like comes and gets her workouts in 3 times a week. Mm-hmm. So I mean, and all the friends, Shanice, all the people that she's brought. Mm-hmm. So Naisha's huge.
Who's another good one?
I don't know. They're all awesome.
Yeah.
Sarah Gardner.
Sarah Gardner's super cool.
Sarah Gardner's cool because she came to us as a vegan who ate bacon. And we were like, what are we going to do with you? She's like, I'm vegan. I can't eat it, but I always love bacon. But we slowly reintroduced like
her choice.
Yeah, vegan. Like she started with a vegan meal plan, and like increasing her protein intake with vegan food sources. She realized it was a lot easier for her to hit her get more protein in when she ate like more animal products. So she slowly opened the doors.
She's the one that came in earlier. She walks around here, but she like stopped in today. Can I use your bathroom? Sure, go ahead.
Good pit stop right here.
Yeah. Sarah, Heb, and Doriana are another. Always pair them together.
Yeah, Sarah, Heb, and Doriana live in the neighborhood. They're besties. And they're cool because they signed up together. And Doriana is somebody who followed the meal plan like 100%, like to the T, every single day, lost over 25 pounds, still losing weight, looks amazing. Mm-hmm. And then Sarah Heb she had a lot of stuff going on.
During her 6 weeks.
During her 6-week challenge. She had 2 weddings to go to and then 2 more weddings after the 6-week challenge. Owns her own business. So very busy, but with her, it like just looked a little bit different than Doriana. So like, they both saw amazing results. It was just different types of programming. Like Sarah wanted a little bit more lifestyle. Doriana was like, I'm in and I want to go like, a little bit more dialed in. And it was cool to watch the difference, but also see that they both still saw results.
Yeah. And I mean, that's what's cool is like everyone's fitness journey looks, everyone's journey looks different. Everyone's looking for, results, but we're going to get them a different way. And we just have to figure out like how we want to approach that with, each person. So
it all comes down to the same stuff though. It all comes down to what you put in your body, how you talk to yourself, and how you move. Mm-hmm. Right. And so it's some combination of those 3 at different levers for each person.
Yeah.
And when you have health conditions and stuff, that plays a role in it. But there's consistency across the board. What we've noticed doing online and then now doing this in person is you have got to want it enough for yourself to make it happen. Mm-hmm. We like online, it was a little bit harder, a lot more accountability because you weren't coming and seeing our faces and having to say like some people, as soon as they see me, they confess immediately, like what they ate last night or something. But like when you're online, it's much more like you have to be a little bit more self-driven. This studio like hybrid version has allowed us to teach people to be a little bit more independent while still having access to a coach when they really need it. And that's my favorite part of it is like I can still have online clients who want to do it on their own and are self-driven and don't just come in here for their workouts and then do their stuff. But then I also have the ability to help people who have never attempted to lose the weight on their own in a sustainable way.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of, what's the word? Not myth busting, but like breaking beliefs.
Yeah. Sweet. Awesome. Well, I enjoyed talking to you.
I appreciate you.
Appreciate you. All right. If you enjoyed listening to us chat, like, comment, share, and we'll make more of these. Later.